Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Improving road safety is at the center of a week-long seminar as the International Road Federation, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport, sensitizes the public. The Export Centres Company Limited hosts its open day in Morvah as creativity and entrepreneurial skills take center stage. And the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training turns the sod to officially open the Esmond D. Ramasar Centre for Adult Education and Blended Open Distance Learning. Thank you for joining us. Kind words continue to pour in on the late Dana Sita following her death on the weekend. Tributes this time from her parliamentary colleagues who describe her as a woman of the people who would do anything in her power to ensure justice was delivered.
Attorney General Senator the Honorable Anand Ramlogan is one of the first persons to deliver remarks in the Senate on the death of former independent Senator and Attorney-at-Law Dana Sita. During his contribution, Attorney General Ramlogan describes her as a woman who stood by her belief that an improved justice system is an improved country.
For me, she was a personal friend and colleague, a woman of unquestionable character who effectively straddled the median of Trinidad and Tobago society and in the process engaged us all to champion the cause of justice for the holistic development of our country.
The Attorney General praises the commitment Ms. Sita had to improving the justice system and says the difference she has made will live on even after her death.
Her contribution to the development of this country went far beyond her capable and effective tenure as an independent senator in this August House. She remained to her very last day an indefatigable and tireless worker in the vanguard for reform and development of the criminal justice system in our country. The Ministry of the Attorney General has lost a critical support in Dana Sita as she was in fact assisting us with a number of current important legislative measures to help with the fight against crime and improve the criminal justice system.
Senator Ramlogan highlights what he says was Ms. Sita's ability and willingness to relate and explain the law to any and everyone, a skill which he says endeared her to many.
Dana Sita walked many roads in life. She was the quintessential Trinidadian, and she was one who can easily fit in amongst the academics and dignitaries as she would by the corn soup vendor and doubles vendor, mixing with the ordinary folk of Trinidad and Tobago. She was someone, because of her personality and because of her willingness to share her knowledge, she was someone who was easily liked by all and sundry.
Senator the Honorable Timothy Hamel-Smith, President of the Senate, says Ms. Sita's death should not go in vain. He is urging lawmakers to continue her struggle for a better justice system so that her beliefs and principles may live on.
It is absolutely vital that all of us who collectively make up the stakeholders in the criminal justice system, including us as legislators, the judiciary, the police service, defense lawyers, prosecutors, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Ministry of Justice and the media, take up the challenge to overhaul the criminal justice system from top to bottom. The
funeral service for Dana Sita will take place at 5 p.m. on Thursday at the Aramalaya Presbyterian Church on Cochrane Street in Tunapuna. Additional seats and parking nearby are expected to be arranged for the funeral. After the funeral, she will be cremated at Belgrove's Crematorium in Tacarigua. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
In other news, improving road safety becomes the centered focus during a week-long seminar hosted by the International Road Federation in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport. The seminar seeks to ensure international best practices are implemented through improvements to the national road safety policy and transportation networks.
With a race to reduce Trinidad and Tobago's road fatalities and improve driving safety practices, the Ministry of Transport has joined forces with the International Road Federation, IRF, in an effort to enhance the quality of the nation's roads. The Federation, which is an NGO based in Washington, assists countries around the world in improving the safety of their roads, transport networks and plans. in hosting their third Caribbean Regional Congress, which aims at sensitizing local civil engineers and transportation professionals through several sessions on correcting transport deficiencies by highlighting international best practices in the area of transport. IRF President Patrick Sankey, in bringing greetings, explained the significance of safer, sustainable roads to driving safety.
The countries in the Caribbean have been most successful in improving their road safety record, have done so by taking action across a range of areas, building quality roads, adopting better data systems, ensuring safer vehicles, and making more comprehensive laws. On Friday, IRF will present its annual Find a Way Award, which recognizes extraordinary efforts within our industry.
Transport Minister Stephen Cady says while there has been a 22% drop in road fatalities in the last year, improving the road network will require going beyond the implementation of physical infrastructure such as cable barriers, speed enforcement and vehicle inspection, but changing a culture among the driving population.
One of the things that we're looking at with the new Motor Vehicle Act is first and foremost driver education for juvenile drivers. And then we're looking at graduated licenses for juvenile drivers. Then we're looking at zero tolerance when it comes to alcohol for a juvenile driver. So even though there's a limit in the current legislation as far as how much alcohol can be in your system, we're looking at zero tolerance when it comes to the juvenile drivers. Of course, we're looking at the demerit system, which is pretty popular in other jurisdictions. So we're looking at that also. And I think with attempting to bring control over the drivers, I think we will in fact see our road fatality figures drop below 100.
However, the IRF president explains what he thinks is needed if we are to see the changes on our nation's roads.
What we want to see is that same commitment to road safety, and specifically that a road safety auditor is involved before a project ever begins, in the conception stage and in the final design stage and throughout the project. This is indeed how we will make changes.
Currently, changes to the Motor Vehicle Act are on the tables in the lower and upper house. Minister Cady says these changes will facilitate the needed improvements to the local road system.
We need to have a forensic unit that really and truly goes into these crashes. Why are these things happening? Why are people jumping the median? Why is it at one particular stretch of road that we constantly have these accidents? Are the accidents always at 3 o'clock, between 3 and 5 in the morning, between midnight and 5? You know, all of these are things that we need to gather all that data to really and truly to bring proper management of our road system.
The seminar is a week-long program that will look at areas such as pavemetrics, foreign policies in transportation safety, smart road designing, signage, technologies in building resilient roads, and much more. Kimberam Calawan, News 4.
News 4 continues right after the break. Stay with us. The creative industry is in good hands, especially with the intervention of the government in many regards. One intervention working in favor of entrepreneurs making a living out of their creative talents is the Export Centers Company Limited.
Trinidad and Tobago is a country with a creative culture. This creativity can be put into practice and inspire a breed of entrepreneurs who use their talents and culture to make a living. The Export Centers Company Limited, under the purview of the Ministry of Community Development, was established in 1996 to train persons to become micro-entrepreneurs capable of producing and selling high-quality handicraft items. On Friday, the ECCL hosted an open day event at its MOVA Center to promote the commencement of its 2014 handicraft program.
These programs are geared to level 2 and level 3 at the National Training Agency certification and also the City and Guild certification. We have also introduced 2 new components, which is ICT for handicraft entrepreneurs and export marketing for handicraft entrepreneurs, which we feel are critical to the internationalization of small and micro enterprises in Trinidad and Tobago.
Some of the ECCL's categories or types of craft clusters include metal, wood, coconut and shell, grass, cloth, soil, jewelry and sugar crafts, as well as fabric decoration. The open days inform and stimulate handicraft artisans regarding the services of the ECCL, and it is through this initiative that the state agency intends to showcase business opportunities that may be available to handicraft artisans and entrepreneurs graduating from the training programs. Dropping by the center was Minister of Community Development, the Honorable Winston Peters. Minister Peters was impressed by the work he observed and stated that the ECCL was one of the ministry's best-kept secrets.
And we don't want it to be a secret because, as you can see today, when you look around here, you can see the creativity and you can see that what all the training that went into the persons that have been passing through the export center in terms of training them. This is the end result, and the end result is fantastic. So I think that this is one of the aspects of the Ministry of Community Development that is one that is worth developing even more. We are trying to do this now, and we are talking about doing it on an international basis, because we cannot keep these things that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago to ourselves.
The ECCL has embarked on a path whereby it sees itself as the leading institution involved in the local handicraft and fashion industry. The organization intends to play a major role in artisan development by providing guidance, training, research and support for products and entrepreneurs of handicraft and fashion. The chairman of the ECCL spoke about the creativity required to produce some of the handicrafts as well as the materials used.
Some of the pieces of today reflect the innate creativity of Trinidad and Tobagonian people. It is taken from our culture, from our flora, from our fauna, and it is also part of what we term as product development. We know we still have a little way to go in terms of our designs, but this is something at Export Centers we are looking at in introducing product development and design programs.
The Honourable Minister stated that his ministry and the ECCL was now looking to provide a retail space that can be used to expose these creative entrepreneurs and their products to the public for consumption.
So what they would have is a commercial space that the export centers, and by extension the Ministry of Community Development, can have all these people who make these things, and they would have a place, they would have an outlet by which they can not only exhibit but literally sell their produce. And when they do that, their products, and when they do that, it would encourage other people to come to the training centers because they can see that what they're doing is bearing fruit, and then they would know that they can in fact have a tangible benefits from what they've learned.
Currently, the ECCL is aggressively pursuing exports to the US and the UK. Its thrust into production, sales and marketing is expected to make a significant contribution to economic growth, diversification and sustainable job creation. The state agency acknowledges the importance of the social development of citizens, and as a result, the organization hopes to contribute towards enhancing human development and the creativity of the nation as an investment in human capital. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
A sword-turning ceremony took place to officially open the Esmond D. Ramesar Center, which is the new site of the construction of University of the West Indies Open Campus in central Trinidad. The building of this new Chaguanas Open Campus Center will truly be a momentous feat, as the center will be the main open campus facility to service the other existing 45 sites situated in Trinidad and Tobago and by extension the Caribbean.
Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training Fazal Karim says the new Esmond D. Ramesar Center is a testament to the Ministry and the University of the West Indies' commitment to adult education and blended open-distance learning. He says the Ministry of TEST, in partnership with its many different agencies, is continuously expanding the funding, access and opportunities offered to the populace in the form of vocational and opening training programs.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the Vice Chancellor, did indicate that, has now poured approximately $57 million into this project, all financing available for phase 1. And the exact figure is $57,044,140, of which we already got $12 million in 2012-2013 fiscal year, $5 million in 13-14, and in 2014-2015, the sum of $40,044,144.
He says their agencies are working hard to offer students of the more traditional institutes more flexibility in the approach of their studies and introducing more online courses to the curriculum.
I believe that we should look at the future of this open campus facility, and more particularly this center, in the following way. We should consider returning to the reading circle in the days of Mr. Ramesa on radio and television that discussed and analyzed literature that included the works of Homer, Shakespeare, Balzac, Naipaul, Lovelace, and Walcott. We can consider reintroducing a national lecture series, some of which can be held right here, since this is the ideal location that will guarantee larger audiences. We must revisit the establishment of special advisory committees on various aspects of the life and future of the UWI Open Campus. There must be greater links with government, worker representative organizations, business, like the Chaguanas Chamber, industry, and commerce.
Therefore, the ministry considers the construction of the center of the University of the West Indies Open Campus to be in perfect alignment with its own drive to develop and distribute educational skills program to students, that is, building human capacity.
We must seek to expand opportunity and access to what is described as the underserved communities in the context of the Open Campus's strategic plan. There must be a stronger sense of commitment, ownership, and patriotism to the ideal of the Open Campus by both employees and beneficiaries. Quality, relevance, accountability, and responsibility must become daily, not watchwords, but doing words.
Minister Karim said the Open Campus has already developed a reputation for having a unique approach in enhancing the students' experience throughout the Caribbean. This improves technological and management strategy from this state-of-the-art center will contribute to it becoming a new student institution with the flexibility, accessibility, and capacity to train a 21st century workforce. The central location of this project will see nationals from North, South, East, West, and Central benefit from the physical programs. The Ministry of TESS says the virtual learning courses would even have a wider range geographically, giving expanded educational options to those with challenges to physically attend college. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
The Water and Sewage Authority, WASA, is advising customers of the introduction of temporary water supply schedules for parts of Trinidad and in Tobago as a result of below normal rainfall conditions for the dry season in the month of April, with a similar pattern forecasted for the current month of May 2014. In a release, WASA says the temporary schedules will go into effect for Trinidad on Wednesday, May 7th, 2014, and in Tobago, schedules were introduced on April 13th, 2014. Director of the Meteorological Services of Trinidad and Tobago, Marlon Noel, in a statement, explained that the below normal rainfall observed is in relation to long-term averages over a 30-year period. According to Mr. Noel, Tobago is experiencing what is termed a dry spell, which began in March and has extended into a dry spell or a May dry spell, which represents consecutive periods of below average rainfall, which is deemed unusual or a deviation from the normal rainfall pattern recorded for that particular time. The temporary schedules can be found in the daily press commencing on Wednesday, 7th May 2014, and will be available on the authority's website at www.wasa.gov.tt and their Facebook page, that's Facebook/WASA Trinidad and Tobago. As a result, the situation has resulted in the need for greater management of supply to ensure availability for the duration of the dry season. Consumers must also practice water use efficiency habits. More news right after this. As the 2013-2014 Digicel Pro League winds up, DirecTV W Connection have sealed the title with one game to go. Connection faced off against Defence Force and took a victory that made them the latest $1 million team.
The top two teams in the Digicel Pro League facing off for the second time in 4 days as W Connection and Defence Force take on each other with both teams separated by 1 point. Both teams looking for the win. A victory for the Tetron boys will see them overtake Connection at the top by 2 points with 1 game to go and a chance at successfully defending their title, while a win for Connection will see them take the title outright. A draw would have also worked for either team to keep them both in contention, but fate would have none of it. Connection Suriname's winger Stefano Reisel opened the scoring early in the game, collecting the ball outside the box. Reisel rifled a shot from almost 30 yards out to beat the Defence Force's goalkeeper Kevin Graham and leave some opposition players speechless. Then in a celebration just as grand as the goal and as if in mockery of their opponents, they engaged in a mini march past.
Connection scoring its first goal against the Defence Force.
Not sure which one looked better, the goal or the celebration. In the 30th minute, Connection dispossessed their opponents and Joven Jones played a beautiful through ball. Then a sweet flick back across goal to Jones for him to place it in the middle of the net for a 2-goal lead. Defence Force looking to get back in the game caught Connection on the counter as this clearance sent the ball down to the other half of the field. Some bad defending allowed the ball to be slipped past 2 of Connection's defenders and Josimar Belgrave was left unmarked to run past the defenders and simply place the return ball past Connection's keeper Julani Archibald for an easy finish. Defence Force began to think of a comeback in the making, but less than 2 minutes later, Archibald punting a long ball down the field. The defender slipped, Connection ran past, cut the ball into the box, and Hashim Asia wrong-footing the keeper to re-establish Connection's 2-goal lead. The soldiers and Coast Guardsmen may be always prepared for battle, but this was one battle they seemed to be losing. And their loss was confirmed in the closing stages of the game, with Joven Jones playing a beautiful 1-2 down the wing before he collected a through ball and finished the play with a magnificent chip over Graham to seal the win for Connection and prize the Digicel Pro League trophy from the Defence Force.
A game filled with entertainment, highly competitive.
Connection's win and league victory means they now have won the league 5 times, a figure unmatched by any other domestic football team. Defence Force, meanwhile, will be buoyed by the fact that Central FC could only manage a goalless draw against San Juan Jablote. Central FC and Jablote played in the earlier match with many opportunities going to waste, neither side able to take advantage of their opponent's slip-ups. The draw means the Defence Force need just 1 point from their next game against San Juan Jablote next week to guarantee second place and a spot in next season's Caribbean Club Championship. Gregory McBurney, News 4 Sports.
Thank you very much, Gregory, sitting in for Wayne Cunningham, who is on a CONCACAF assignment. Moving away from sport now, Minister of Planning and Sustainable Development, Senator the Honourable Dr. Bohendranath Tiwari, is encouraging entrepreneurs to put forward new innovative business ideas so they can be funded. This as the 2014 edition of the Idea to Innovation competition is launched.
Idea to Innovation, or I2I 2014, has officially been launched. The program offers significant assistance to citizens in getting their entrepreneurial ideas off the ground by giving funding to individuals, enterprises, and non-profit organizations with new and innovative business ideas. The main aim of the competition is to encourage citizens to use their creative and innovative potential as a means to promote the creation of employment, improve global competitiveness, and long-term sustainability. Planning and Sustainable Development Minister Dr. Tiwari is urging persons to take advantage of the opportunity being given to them by the government.
With a good idea, anyone with that idea can get up to $200,000 depending on what the idea is to build a business. Not many countries offer that, and not many opportunities like that exist in Trinidad and Tobago. And depending on how many ideas we have, we are prepared to fund as much as $10 million in this project.
Minister Tiwari says the government is in full support of encouraging entrepreneurship, as the right creative and innovative business idea can have an immense impact on the economy.
It depends on the ideas. We are not just going to give away money because you send in a proposal. So it is good ideas that we're looking for, creative ideas that we're looking for, innovative ideas that we're looking for, and the money is no object, up to $200,000, because we know that the idea, once implemented, if it is good, is going to mean much more than that.
The planning minister is taking the opportunity to thank all those who, he says, ensure citizens can access this program and the hope and opportunity it brings.
I want to thank and congratulate the staff of the Ministry of Planning and Sustainable Development, but especially the board and the staff of the Council for Competitiveness and Innovation. I also want to thank all the people at Caribbean Industrial Research Institute, CARIRI, and the National Entrepreneurship Development Company, NEDCO, because without all of these entities working together, we could not have created what has been created essentially by you yourselves. I also thank all the people with ideas who have worked to become successes under this program, and I encourage them to continue to be ambassadors for future entrepreneurs and innovators. You are winners simply because you are willing to use your minds, and you are willing to draw on your imagination, and you are willing to take a risk.
This is the third edition of the Eye2Eye competition. More than 100 business ideas have already been funded through the two previous installments of the competition. These include 25 business ideas based on the manufacturing industry, 18 service industry-related business ideas, 24 business ideas relating to ICT, 12 relating to the creative industries, and even ideas relating to agro-industrial processing, food and beverage, environmental and eco-related activities, and tourism. If you have a creative and innovative business idea, visit www.i2itt.com or call 800-2444 for more details. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Well, as we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissassa, is urging students who will sit the secondary examination assessment on Thursday not to allow nerves and concerns to overwhelm them, but rather to prepare yourselves properly, plan strategies well, and get a good night's rest and relaxation in order to ensure you realize your full potential. She also expresses her pride in all 18,345 students scheduled to write the exam. And on behalf of all of us here at TV4 and News 4, good luck. Now remember, you can view a repeat of our newscast weekdays at 6 a.m. and feel free to visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/RTV4. I'm Nicola Barito. Thank you for joining us.